This is the proposed India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor. India will be connecting to the Middle East via United Arab Emirates, then Saudi Arabia, Jordan and Israel, an important country with the trade route that is connecting India. From there, it will enter into Europe via Italy, France and Germany. Remember, Italy and France were also present when this announcement was made, including Germany. These are going to be the two corridors, an ambitious project, but of course, a very significant one with regard to the IMEC project for India. This corridor holds the potential to reshape the economic landscape of India and other nations and impact life of millions of people as and when the employment opportunities are generated. Look closely on your screen. This web of highways, railways, ports, basically a ship-rail transit network that will crisscross through India to Europe. This is a potential trade route that reminds us of the ancient Silk Road or the spice route. Goods and services in modern era will flow seamlessly, facilitate trade between the largest democracy in the world and the resource-rich Middle East and Europe. This is a game changer. India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor, henceforth will be known as IMEC. It will comprise of an eastern corridor that connects India to the Gulf region and a northern corridor that connects the Gulf region to Europe. Is this checkmate China? This is not just an economic corridor, but a diplomatic corridor. And going by the images of what unfolded at G20, here is why I say that. The corridor has the support of the United States of America, where Washington acts as an alternative partner and an investor for developing countries at the G20 grouping. Remember, the corridor does not go through USA, and yet their support. This is because on the other side, China has been pushing a brainchild Belt and Road Initiative with the support of Pakistan. China has shown unprovoked aggression against India, Nepal, Bhutan and countries in the subcontinent and in Asia. It has definitely misused its emerging power, not just against India, but threatens the United States of America too. The world has probably come to realize that the possible repercussions that can come from China and have decided to join hands to revive a sort of an old route, but in modern times. There was clearly a meltdown in Pakistan. The announcement of the ambitious IMEC corridor triggered a backlash from Pakistani citizens online against their government, many clearly stating this is the last wake-up call. There were a lot of reactions on social media sites. Citizens have pointed out how Pakistan is getting increasingly isolated in the global order. Their economy is down, their employment is down, terror safe havens are increasing, political crisis is increasing. And when will Pakistan leadership get its act together? The fact is, this is China-Pakistan Jugalbandi. China's Belt and Road Initiative, known as BRI, was launched in 2013 to significantly broaden China's economic and political influence, to create a vast network of railway, energy pipeline, highway and streamlined border crossings through the mountainous former Soviet republics and southward to Southeast Asia. Part of this proposed economic corridor will connect the northwestern Chinese province of Xinjiang with the Pakistani port of Gwadar through a network of roads measuring about 3,000 kilometers, providing Pakistan much-needed economic infrastructure, specifically power generation plants. China made commitments to provide around $46 billion in development deals, equivalent to 20% of Pakistan's annual GDP. China got shorter routes in turn for trade, and Pakistan would get infrastructure, which it suffers at present with. So this China-Pakistan together is not going to be a good news for India. Both neighbors have attempted to consistently encroach, occupy and provoke and intimidate India. But the question is, in this global order, will Italy support India? Italian media has reported that the country plans to leave China's Belt and Road Initiative. And going by the friendship seen between Indian and Italian prime ministers, it is hopeful that the two nations will be supporting each other. Even a section of Italian political leaders have long complained that the agreement by China benefited China more than Italy, which needed investment at one point, but with relations improving with the European Union, possibly will show courage to back off from China's dominance. According to figures from the Council on Foreign Relations in terms of trade, since joining the BRI, Italy's exports to China increased from 14.5 billion euros to merely 18.5 billion euros. That's not much. Compare this to China's exports to Italy, expanded from 33.5 billion euros to 50.9 billion euros. one of the reasons that Italy would want to look to get out of this BRI initiative. Meanwhile, beyond all of this and away from India, the announcement of the ambitious IMEC project comes amid discussions between the normalization of ties between Israel and Saudi Arabia. The two countries do not have a diplomatic relation, but the Gulf Kingdom has been seen to be recently softening its position toward Israel by permitting Israeli airlines, for example, to use the Saudi airspace. This is just a beginning. Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, has increasingly attempted to become the modern face of the kingdom, announcing several reforms. What did the leaders say on IMEC, the new corridor? US President Joe Biden said it was a real big deal that would bridge ports across two continents and lead a more stable, more prosperous and integrated Middle East. Quoting Prime Minister Modi, Dr. Jitendra Singh, who's a minister in the government, has said better connectivity not only results in increased trade, but also serves as a source of growing trust. He added that IMEC will help overcome the obstacles created by Pakistan and China's own designs. G20 was spread over 60 cities and more than 220 meetings were held across the country. But the economic corridor, without a doubt, comes up as the most decisive, coherent and a classic way to join a part of the world like it has never done before. Finally, what will this corridor transport, or how will the corridor benefit India? Because that is of extreme significance. IMEC will connect India to the Arab world by ports, and via railways will connect to Europe. This will cut the shipping time, cost, fuel use. There are existing maritime and road transport routes already. And upon completion, this corridor will provide a reliable and a cost-effective cross-border ship-to-rail transit network. It will supplement the existing routes and will enable goods and services to transit to and from between India and the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Israel and Europe. There is also an intention to enable the laying of the cables for electricity and digital connectivity, as well as pipe for clean hydrogen export. This corridor will also secure the regional supply chain, increase the trade accessibility, improve the trade facilitation, and support an increased emphasis on environmental, social, and government impact. Building infrastructure development, this corridor can catalyze economic prosperity, creating job opportunities. Energy security is another critical factor here. Middle East can be a strong source through this corridor. Securing India's energy future will clearly be a priority. This shows India is no more simply a developing nation on the defensive, awaiting clarity from other nations. It now leads with decisions, plans, and plans better for the safety and security of its borders, its territory, and its people. Stay tuned as I explore the developments and stories that define our world from India's eyes. Thank you for watching. So the economic corridor was clearly one of the big highlights of the G20 summit, but that's not all. It has clearly paved way for how India can manage to get consensus with other nations on several issues of global importance. Stay tuned. Coming up next, what's happening in India today with Jessica Goyal.
In a cosmic twist, the fate of the Indian footballers depended on the stars. No, we are not joking. Leaked chats of the football coach point to this. For the crucial Asia Cup match against Afghanistan in June 2022, Indian football team coach Igor Stimac picked the team on the advice of Bhupesh Sharma, an astrologer from Delhi NCR. A team insider told PTI a motivator was appointed for the national team before the Asian Cup. And AIFF splurged ₹16 lakh on the astrology agency to motivate the national team. This isn't the first instance of Indians relying on the stars. But people are furious about football players not being selected based on their talent. But India's tryst with astrology goes way back. Be it sports, politics or cinema, astrology rules. Many of them have been found visiting their astrologers to bring luck into their careers. Like Union Minister Smriti Irani, who was told by Bhilwara-based astrologer Nathulal Vyas that she is destined to become the President of India in future. Vasundhara Raje, who held 2 terms as the Chief Minister of Rajasthan, is a frequent visitor to Jaipur-based astrologer Kedar Sharma. The ace astrologer predicted that she will become Prime Minister one day. The Mittals, the Ambanis, Birlas, Adanis are among many who consult Kedar Sharma. Chandraswamy initially gained fame as a skilled astrologer but became prominent only after his association with former Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao. The Hyderabad-based astrologer Balu Munangi has a long list of star clients including Sanjay Dutt, Ajay Devgan and Karan Johar. But it was also in fact Big B who poured out his musings about how he feels human beings are inclined towards numerology, horoscope and other future prediction tactics due to their vulnerability. Now, if you're a believer or not, questions definitely do arise about astrology swaying sports.
For more informative videos like this, Keep watching India Today News Mo.